to bring a new type of news show.
New insights, new styles, and new topics every day.
We are News Generation.
Bring news just for you. It's Monday, August 12th here in Seoul. I'm Song Yujin, and you're watching News Generation. Today, we're joined by Choi Ji-hee.
Happy Monday!
Happy Monday! And Walter Lee.
Lovely to be here.
Now, both are here to speak on behalf of those in their 20s and 30s. Now, as usual, we're going to start with our news feed, which covers different hashtags and news items that have been trending online. We begin today in Japan, where the country is on high alert for a potential mega earthquake in the Nankai Trail along the Pacific coast. The Japan Meteorological Agency has maintained its special advisory, the Nankai Trail Earthquake Extra Information Protocol, which was issued on Thursday after a magnitude 7.1 quake struck off Miyazaki Prefecture in southern Japan. While the agency reports no unusual changes yet, it has urged residents to review their disaster preparedness. Meanwhile, in Korea, the so-called Big Four K-pop management agencies, HYBE, JYP, SM, and YG, have been sanctioned by the Fair Trade Commission for illegal practices related to selling artist merchandise. For example, consumers are allowed to return or cancel their orders within 7 days if they simply change their minds, or within 3 months if the product has defects. However, the merch-selling subsidiaries of these agencies only allow returns or cancellations within 7 days, even if the product was flawed. The Commission has issued corrective orders and warnings and has imposed fines totaling 10.5 million won, which is around $7,600. Finally, we wrap up by bidding farewell to the Paris 2024 Summer Olympic Games. The 33rd Summer Olympics concluded just a few hours ago with a closing ceremony that started at 9 p.m. local time on Sunday. Taekwondo champion Park Tae-jun, who won Korea's first gold in the sport since the 2016 Rio Olympics, and Lee Mae-ji, Korea's first female boxer to win an Olympic medal, proudly carried the South Korean flag during the closing ceremony. The competitions continued until the very last day, and Team Korea made a strong finish by adding more medals. So, Walter, could you please tell about Korea's stellar performance on the last day of Paris 2024?
Yes, so congratulations to Song Seung-min, who won bronze in the modern pentathlon.
Woo!
And also congratulations to Park Hye-jung, who also won the silver in the plus 81 kilograms weightlifting. So good job to them.
Did you see them competing?
I did see them competing, and it was lovely to see, and it's always great to see a Korean do well, especially in this Olympics.
Right, and talking about Song Seung-min, she became the first Asian to win an Olympic medal in the women's pentathlon, so an outstanding performance to Song Seung-min and also Park Hye-jung, who won a silver in weightlifting as well. Now, even though South Korea sent the smallest number of athletes since the 1976 Montreal Olympics, Team Korea delivered one of its strongest performances at the Summer Olympics in decades, right, Ji-hee?
We did, and I'm so proud of Team Korea. So with another silver medal won by Park Hye-jung in weightlifting, as Walter just mentioned, Korea secured a total of 32 medals.
Right.
With 13 gold, 9 silver, and 10 bronze, ranking 8th according to the country's ranking system. Now, this is a successful record with the most gold medals since the 2008 Beijing Olympics and 2012 London Olympics, and the total number of medals, which is 32, is the second highest recorded since the 1988 Seoul Olympics, when we won 33 in total. Now, our initial goal, if you remember, the first episode of our Olympics episode was to win 5 gold medals.
Right.
Because the number of participating athletes, as you mentioned, Eugene, was the smallest in 48 years with only 144. And regarding the ranking, this is the first time in 8 years as well that Korea ranked within the top 10.
Right.
So maybe we should always keep our expectations low.
Right, because it makes us happier,
yes.
And we can appreciate the stellar performances of these athletes even more.
Yes.
Woo! Yay! Yay! So yay!
Team Korea.
Yay, Team Korea and all the athletes who participated in Paris 24. Now that was our news feed for this Monday. Now moving on to our main discussion of the day, we're actually going to continue our coverage of the Paris 2024 Summer Olympics as it finished a couple of hours ago. So today is actually our third and final episode on the games here on NewsGen. And as mentioned earlier in the news feed, with the event wrapping up just a few hours ago, we're going to do a final recap on our show today. So as T and Walter both mentioned, it's been a remarkable Olympics for South Korea. So I want to ask you, who are some of the breakout stars of Paris 2024, and also which sport or athlete made the biggest impression on you? Why are you laughing?
No, first of all,
I think I know the answer.
yeah, Oh Sang-woo, the fencer, who won the first medal for our country.
The gold medal, first
yes,
gold medal.
the first gold medal for our country, was very impressive.
Why?
Not because he's a great athlete, but because he's also very good looking, as everybody thinks. And also we have Kim Ye-ji. Look at him right there.
You look really happy.
Yes, I look very happy. And of course, I stan Kim Ye-ji.
Right.
We've talked about this in our second episode as well.
Right.
Her charismatic look, her superstar looking performance.
Her gears.
Yes, her gear. And she looked really cool as well. But after she was off her games, like when she was doing the interviews, we could really see her down-to-earth character as well, which was also very impressive. And Shin Yu-bin as well. And all the snack that she was having, the banana, the jelly that went viral. And of course, we have An Se-young as
Right.
well, the badminton player. Although there was a little bit of controversy with her, she did a great job. And I'm
Right.
so proud to see her. And especially because we haven't been doing as well in the badminton event. And also, I was really impressed to see the women's fencing team as well, because each of the individuals, after they scored a point, they would roar.
Like a lion.
Like lions.
Which was so
Yeah,
cool.
It was really cool to see. And I also want to also say he did a great job. Woo Sang-hyuk,
Oh, the high jumper.
Yeah, and like you mentioned earlier, Eugene, he cut his hair to even be able to jump higher.
Right.
And it was quite sad to see how he seemed very disappointed not to secure a medal. But it doesn't matter. He did a
Right.
great job, and it was really great to see his great performances.
Right, and we always have the next Olympics, and a lot of competitions still remain. So, yes, those are some of the highlights or Team Korea athletes who became viral online and also who showed outstanding performances during the 17-day games. Now, Walter, I want to ask you, are there any other athletes besides Team Korea that caught your attention or you would like to introduce to our viewers?
Yes, I think Jihin named all the highlights.
I
for the
know.
Korean team. So I have to go with my fellow countrywoman. Her name is Rachel Gunn. You probably
Right.
have heard of her as she became the Aussie well-known viral breakdancer who was continuously mocked on social media for her performance of, let's call it, breaking. Here at New Generation, we like to have fun, but no one looked like they had more fun than Rachel at the games. And yes, her style wasn't traditionally breaking, but she was original. That's what she said. She was full of energy and she did what she loved to do on the biggest sporting stage in the world. And for that, we shouldn't mock her. Instead, we should be envious of someone who is able to fulfill her passion, because many of us never get that chance to, be on the biggest stage in the world. And even though, she wasn't what you would call a traditional breakdancer, she kept it really new school and was definitely, I think, possibly the biggest highlight of the Paris Olympics.
Right, I think she became like one of the biggest breakout stars of Paris 2024. And I also think that she's very inspiring because she really showed what it means or what it is to enjoy the Olympics itself.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's right. And I watched the video as well after Walter mentioned it. And I think she really defined breaking in her own way.
Right.
Yeah, and that was pretty impressive, It might be the traditional, it might not be the traditional breaking, but she had shown everyone her own way of breaking.
I loved her kangaroo hop.
Oh, yeah.
It's very traditional in Australia.
Yeah, so maybe we can create something Korean-like.
Like the tiger.
Like the tiger roar or something. Anyway, so we took a look at some of the breakout stars of Paris 2024. Now, we also asked our viewers which Korean athletes caught their eye the most during these games, and let's hear from what 3 of them had to say. So if we look at the comments, Leonteo93 says some standout athletes include the South Korean shooting team, who won multiple gold medals, and the South Korean archery team. K-pop addict 113 says the most impressive South Korean athlete at Paris 2024 has got to be Kim Ye-ji, who became a viral sensation. She won the silver medal in the women's 10-meter air pistol event. Also, her stylish demeanor and her calm and collected confidence during competitions makes her stand out from other athletes. Benny97 says the most impressive Korean athletes are female shooter Kim Ye-ji, badminton player An Se-young, and archer Im Si-hyun. I'm gushing over the Olympics, especially female athletes who are doing well, and I maintain love and support after their fantastic performance that they won a gold medal. So, based on the comments, we can see how much a lot of our viewers have been excited about Paris 2024 and all the amazing performances that they got to watch throughout the games. Now, talking about South Korea's performance at Paris 2024 once again, it matched its highest ever gold medal count at any Summer Olympics, securing 13 golds in total, which Chi mentioned is a tie with the 2000 Beijing and 2012 London Games. Now, impressively, 10 out of those 13 gold medals, which is far more than a majority, came from precision sports like archery, fencing, and shooting. And these sports all involve weapons, as their primary equipment are bows, swords, and guns. So I want to ask you, what do you think has contributed to Korea's exceptional performances at these sports?
Okay, so firstly, it's connected to the historical characteristics of the Korean people. It's in our blood. It's just who we are. The skill level is often attributed to being descendants of Jumong, and who are known to as the master archers and the sharpshooters. Now, the constant external invasions and the internal conflicts throughout Korean history have contributed to these developments. We've been through many wars. We've, starting with, archers and then moving on to guns, etc. And some analysis suggests that this is a kind of DNA within and integrated within the Korean blood. So I believe that is also true.
Really? We talked about this on our midway recap of Paris 2024 here on Newsgen, how maybe us being Koreans, being good at precision sports might be in our blood, but it doesn't really, but talent is not all. You also need efforts and a lot of contribution in order to win a medal or show an outstanding performance, especially at the Olympics, right?
That's right. It's not all about the talent. So we had comprehensive and systematic training, which was the foundation for our success in some of these sports events. Athletes trained in a specially designed set replicating the actual Olympic archery venue in particular, and they underwent adaptation training for local weather conditions, experiencing like simulations of extreme weather like typhoons, heavy rain, strong winds even. And training also included utilizing pre-recorded crowd noises, including cheers and boos and applause to enhance the athletes' focus under pressure. And of course, I've mentioned this in our previous Olympics episode too, advanced technologies like AI were employed to track athletes' gaze and monitor their heart rates and analyze their posture, providing real-time feedback to quickly identify and correct issues. I think it's all about the precision, really, and the detail. And also in fencing, athletes underwent structured training as well, including a unique stepping technique specific to Korea. And shooting athletes trained in facilities modeled after the actual competition venues in Paris, sharpening their real-world skills, and the training environments were also recreated in virtual reality spaces. So a lot of utilizing technology as well. And furthermore, a transparent and fair national team selection process is held annually in the country, ensuring that only the best athletes are chosen. And of course, the system is made possible by the strong support, financially in particular, of leading Korean companies.
Right. So based on what you've mentioned, it really seems like this outstanding performance is a result of athletes. It was a team effort.
Yeah.
Right. So
from all sectors.
Right, from all sectors. So really inspiring. And right. So to help us better recap the Paris 2024 Olympics, we're now going to invite a sportscaster to our talks right after this break. Right, so today we're joined by sportscaster Jason Lee. Welcome, Jason, to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Lovely to have you. So, Jason, my first question for you is, as we mentioned earlier, Korea shined in precision sports at the Olympics this time, archery, fencing, and shooting. So, what do you believe are the key factors behind these outstanding achievements?
I think there are a few reasons why Korea is so good in these sports. I think the first thing is the national team program. The fact that, they have a state-sponsored sports program where these athletes can once they make the Korean national team, they can focus on their sports, essentially being professional athletes with all the resources that they need. So they don't have to work a day job and then, in their spare time, practice in these particular sports. They have a lot more opportunity to train properly. So I think that's a huge advantage that a lot of other countries don't enjoy. I think in particular with a sport like, let's say, archery, which, by the way, the Korean women's national team now has won all 10 of the 10 archery events dating all the way back to 1988 at the Seoul Olympics, 10 for 10 for the women's team. When a country has that sort of success in its history, then success breeds success. So you basically have a country that enjoys that sport. Much like Brazil is successful in soccer, therefore the younger generation want to become soccer players. In the same sort of way as Korea is successful in archery, Koreans want to become archers. Probably more Koreans watch archery at the Olympics than any other country. And I don't know about you, but I've been to an archery cafe in Korea. I doubt that there are many of those in other countries around the world. So the passion for archery is definitely there in Korea. And then the one last thing I'll mention is coaching. If you look at coaching in Korea of a sport like archery in particular, it's very high level to the point where if you go back and look at any other Olympics where Korea did not sweep the medal podium, then often the countries that were on the podium with Korea often had Korean coaches. At these Olympics, I did not see Korean coaches on the other teams, and maybe that's why Korea was able to win all 5 of the archery gold medals.
Some great points there. And I think people being able to enjoy something we're continuously successful at is a great point that you made there. My second question to you is, beyond the medal count, though, what do you believe was Team Korea's most significant achievement at Paris 2024?
My favorite one would definitely be the Korean judo team. And this is a team event that was newly created at the most recent Olympics in Tokyo. And the way it works is you have 3 men and 3 women per team representing 6 different categories of weight divisions. And the way it worked for Korea is they didn't have an appropriate judoka for a couple of the divisions. So in the women's 70 kilogram division, as an example, they didn't have an actual 70 kilogram judoka. So they had Kim Ji-soo compete in a weight class above her actual weight division. This was the same for judoka An Baul, who typically competes at the 63 kilogram division, but there is no 63 kilogram division in the team event. So he actually competed in the 73 kilogram division. And he's a double medalist in previous Olympics. So he's a very good judoka. However, he had to compete with someone almost 15, 20 pounds heavier than him in his sport. So it's not as big of a deal because you need to win 4 matches of the 6 in order to advance. And the other 4 judokas on Korea's team each won medals in the individual weight divisions of their discipline. So they had a very strong team, but they had 2 competitors playing above their division, and they reached the bronze medal consolation final against Germany, and they ended up deadlocked in a 3-3 tie. And the way that you break a deadlock is they have a 7th match, but which match it is chosen randomly. And wouldn't you know it, for this all-important bronze medal match, who's going to win the medal, who goes home with nothing, the weight division that was randomly selected was the men's 73 kilogram division, which An Baul was competing above his weight division. In the actual original match, he lost to his opponent from Germany in a grueling 9-minute match. But in the winner takes all, when it all came down to it, when the chips were on the line, An Baul came through and defeated his opponent in a weight division above to give everyone on the Korean judo team a bronze medal. I thought that was a fantastic story.
That's an excellent story, yes, as well. But we're just about to run out of time. But I would like to know, the countdown has already started for the Summer Olympics in Los Angeles in 2028, even with the France Olympics just finishing. Are there any sports or any athletes that we should be looking out for?
I think a big story is the fact that baseball is returning. Baseball did not take part in these Olympics in Paris, but it will be back in the Los Angeles Olympics. And Korea, of course, is a baseball passionate country. So I think looking for Korea's baseball team's return would be big. Also, Korea, of course, had the 6 different shooters win gold medals in shooting. So I think each of them, especially Pan Hyo-jin, who's just 16 years of age, I'm sure she'll make an appearance in Los Angeles, if not in 2032 as well in Brisbane, perhaps. I think you've also mentioned Shin Yu-bin, the table tennis athlete, who is very young as well. She went to 3 semifinals in these Olympics, so hopefully she'll have even more success come Los Angeles.
All right, Jason, thank you so much for your valuable insight today. Really appreciate it.
It's a pleasure as always.
Thank you. Right, so before we wrap up, last but not least, do you have any final thoughts or reflections on Paris 2024?
Well, beyond these precision sports, I think a lot of the other sports like boxing, judo, and maybe breaking gained a lot of spotlight. And we were worried that because we weren't participating in ball sports, this would not gain much popularity. But throughout time, the public was a lot more interested in it. And I would like to see that humanity, the journey of humanity and sportsmanship going forward. And I really like your shirt, by the way. I wanted to mention it since the beginning.
Yeah.
This is a shirt older than both of you.
Yeah, so 1988. Yes, so I'm looking forward to the 2028 LA Olympics already.
How about you, Walter?
Yeah, so even though that this game started off very controversial with a lot of problems going into it, it became one of the most memed Olympics, I think. And I think there was a lot of things that were very enjoyable, not just on a sports level, but on an entertainment level as well. So it was a lot of fun to watch.
I think we'll get to remember Paris 2024, just like how Walter is wearing the t-shirt of Seoul 1988. We'll remember it for decades because it was such an amazing Olympics.
Yes.
And on behalf of all of us here on Newsday, I would like to just say thank you for all the athletes, the staff, and volunteers of Paris 2024 for giving us such an unforgettable summer.
Yeah, great job.
Yay! And that's all from us today, but Newsday will be back tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Korea time. Special thanks today to Choi Ji-hee.
Thank you.
And Walter Lee.
Lovely to be here.
And thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow. We are News Generation.